Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Dan, and welcome to the 500 subscriber special. I'm a bit late on this because as of the time I'm recording, I actually hit 570, which is just completely insane. And I'd like to just thank all of you guys for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. So today we're going to be doing this Q&A. I have a lot of you guys' questions I was able to fit in. Unfortunately, I did not get in every single question, so if your question was not added, I do sincerely apologize. But without further ado, let's get right into this, guys. The first question for today is by SilverAT456. What type of main characters do I RP with in After the Flash? And what's the progress on New Frontier? I'm not going to be getting into the lore of both of these characters, however, I'll just kind of give like a general basis, I guess you could say. So I have two main characters actually. I have one for non-faction related stuff and one for faction related. My first character is Graham. Again, I'm not going to be going into like the whole lore of my characters, however I'll give like a little bit of a general basis. Graham was born just before the Flash in 2033 in Salt Lake City in Utah. He's kind of more or less of a ride or die type guy. He's more or less usually kind of going solo and hopping around between groups. And that's just kind of, again, my overall character for if I'm just kind of bored and I want to hop on and just do something, I kind of go on him. Another character I rock with is for my CDF custom character. His name is Parson Browning. He was also born in 2012, also in Salt Lake City, Utah. And again, I'm not going to get into the whole backstory of him, but he was able to track out from Salt Lake City into the Lake Mead Valley region, and eventually he did join up along with the CDF. As for progress on New Frontier, things have been a little bit slow lately just because of the fact that my time has just been way more constrained than usual. Before, I was working on the project for roughly 4 to 6 hours per day for the last 2 months, but now that I'm finalizing things for university, because it actually starts in 2 weeks, that's definitely putting a lot of delays to the game. Useless human being, back at it again. He's asking, what do I think about the new After the Flash updates, and are they better than the old one? Before I answer this question, I just really need to say that I only started playing Mirage in late August, and I mean like the last 2 days of August of 2019. The reason I bring this up is because I'm not a veteran player. I'll be straight up honest on that. The major updates that I've seen when I first joined along was like the Labs event. There was the new Getaway Islands as map expansions, and those were kind of the extent of what I saw as generalized updates. And if you take those updates and you look at like what we have now today with like the brand new Cliff Guard, we got Boulder Cove expansion, couple new islands and such, and just overall I do think that the updates now are much better than what they were. However, the only thing I will say is that I feel the events section is actually lacking. For those who were here for Halloween of 2019, we had the Labs event. For that, it was like a whole interactive type of experience. For that event, it was more or less a whole interactive experience, and for the most part, you needed at least yourself and another individual to work alongside with. I do believe that people would rather much kind of do something like the Labs event rather than have stuff handed to them, just like how it is currently Summer Rain. I understand that some people just would rather much have the things handed out to them, and you know, I respect that, but I believe that a majority of us players actually would rather much have something more interactive like the Labs event. So in terms of like the new After the Flash events, I would say they're actually kind of going on like a downgraded scale compared to like the Labs. So I always keep coming into conflictions with how to actually say this man's name. I've been told it's been pronounced Dixie. It doesn't look like it's spelled like that, but let's just go ahead and say that. So Dixie is also a fellow After the Flash content creator. He asked, would you collab with other ATF YouTubers? And yes, basically I really would like to, and I kind of think it's my fault that I actually haven't reached out to other content creators for After the Flash. So again, I feel like that's a little bit of my responsibility, and you know, I feel like I'm at fault for doing that. However, I am going to now try to get into contact with the majority of you guys, and I definitely do want to do some collab sessions, and you know, it doesn't even need to be on Mirage, it could be on other games and such. Next question is from my man Doom Guy, and he's asking, what's my favorite RPing game other than After the Flash? Favorite game to RP in other than After the Flash, and you guys are actually going to be pretty surprised, but it's actually going to be Fallout 3. And I know that, you know, of course, Fallout New Vegas, and I will not deny this, Fallout New Vegas is much more superior than Fallout 3. However, the only thing I prefer from Fallout 3, honestly, really just like the whole landscape, and like I really like downtown DC a lot compared to like an open desert. And if you add mods to Fallout 3, you could actually basically bring all the good aspects of Fallout New Vegas into Fallout 3. This is all my opinion. You can disagree with it. That is okay, and that is very much legal. Do not fight in the comments, please. ABCAL asked, in the future, would you ever want to do a video collab with Filthy Moose or Chad the Creator? So as I just said, yes, of course, I am always looking now to actually do some videos with other content creators. And honestly, I would love to do a video with Chad. It wouldn't be obviously something I would say would be like, you know, a gaming type video. I'd rather much do something like an interview where I take community questions as well as my own questions for him and ask him. But the only issue is, of course, is that going to ever happen? I'll be honest, probably not. You know, at the same time, I'm not going to go ahead and bother Chad because, of course, he's dealing with the whole Mirage development things. I know he just put out a new update, and as well as, you know, he has his own personal life to deal with. Of course, he is actually older than me, and, you know, I think he recently got a dog, but nevertheless, I would definitely like to do some type of a video with Chad. Jeffrey Jansen had asked, what made you do After the Flash content on YouTube instead of other content like games, reactions, animations, reviews of games / movies, and why? So back when I first started playing on Mirage, I was looking up videos on how like everything worked out, because in all honesty, the last time I played an After the Flash game has to be maybe the first week or two when D6 came out, and then to me personally, I didn't really like it because it was just so faction driven. So that's why I took a huge break, and I completely missed Deep Winter and everything. And basically when I came back, I was looking at some YouTube videos going over, like, you know, I don't want to say beginner guides because I played this game before. I already knew what was going on, but I just wanted to figure out what was different compared from Mirage to like D6. And quite honestly, at the time, I didn't really even see that many good or kind of well-focused type of videos. I was thinking like, hey, maybe I should do videos on like game updates, as well as then eventually it came towards me doing like the gift unboxings, because again, I didn't really see anyone do that at that time. I believe now I know like Rocky Ridge does it all the time. I believe that Dixie guy always does it. There's a couple of other people that do it, but you know, again, I also have my own way of actually like recording it and how I prefer how to do it. At the end of the day, you know, I always did want to do something with YouTube back when, I think it was like back in 2013. And I just know for a fact that if I were to start up this YouTube channel and do just kind of like whatever, let's just say I'll do like CSGO or something, there is so much competition in which I just feel like I wouldn't even feel like the fan base I would have had would be completely different to what it is today. And honestly, like I said, I felt like there was some shoes to fill for the community, and I wanted to kind of step up and take that type of challenge. So that's kind of why I got into doing After the Flash content. The next question I got is from MiltyBoy YT, and he's asking, do you know Chad and the other developers in Flashstorm? No, and I do just want to make this clear. I do not know nor associate with Chad or any of the Flashstorm developers. For some reason, I've actually read a couple of comments that were saying that apparently I'm actually Chad, and I just want to clarify that I'm not Chad. It would definitely be cool to at least take like one day and actually be able to talk with Chad and the Flashstorm developers. They probably just wouldn't like me because I think honestly I would just start to bring up a whole bunch of issues with the game that I would say needs to be fixed alongside suggestions. And I feel like they just honestly get sick and tired of me. But again, I do not know Chad or any of the developers personally, or even just remotely. Next question is from my boy Rocket Ridge, and he's saying, when are you doing the After the Flash YouTuber racing featuring some of the After the Flash content creators? So at first I actually had no idea what this meant until I spoke to some of my friends, and basically I spoke to a single person who was willing to actually kind of get everyone on board in terms of content creators. I would definitely like to do something like this, definitely before the end of the year. If not, maybe it could be towards the beginning of January. Again, it really ultimately depends on how my schedule is going to be between work and university. My boy Fooled Panzer had asked, what would I like to see from Rajs Ending / conclusion of the story? Well, basically we know this. We know that the SLF is going to be destroyed, and I feel like the way how things are moving, I feel like what's going to end up happening is that the SLF and I believe it's the 17th Brigade or something like that, they are both going to attack Cliffguard and the CDF. And for those who know the lore, the main USCPF regiment, I believe it is, actually left Goldfield to go assist in Vegas, and I know that eventually they are going to return, and once they figure out what just happened, they're definitely going to back the CDF, and I think at that point, the CDF alongside with the USCPF are both going to move in and then completely just crush the SLF in the 17th, and I believe that's going to be kind of how the story ends. I tried to pronounce this name several times, so I'm just going to go ahead and just going to call you Doc, but Doc is asking, what are my favorite weapons in After the Flash Mirage? And I have two weapons I really use mainly. It's the M60 from the Twitch Tier 3 item, which I believe was $35, which, yeah, I'll be straight up honest, I'm never doing that again. And the other weapon I use, and this is like my main weapon, this is the TSR with Shock Breach. And this is the USCPF Series 7 toy item, and I believe I spent about $25 on it. So again, for these two items, I spent a lot of actual cash to be able to obtain them, and so I might as well just use them. Me personally, of course I use other weapons, but like if I had to just go on and I just wanted to do whatever, I would definitely pick either the M60 or the TSR with Shock Breach. City Airport and Car Reviews had asked, do you play any other games other than RP games and After the Flash? Yeah, of course I do. You know, I play a whole bunch of other games other than ATF. My main one that I've been recently playing a lot is Squad, which is more of like a milsim type game. But other games that I play here and there include Civilization 6, GTA 5, COD, Modern Warfare 2019, and Far Cry 5. World of Skittles asked, do you enjoy the official factions and why? And how about the fan factions? Should they continue or be banned? So I'll be quite honest, this question is kind of a little bit difficult because, you know, the extent I have with official factions is mainly the CDF. I was a part of the CDF back for After the Flash Reign, and I was also a part of it, of course, right now in Mirage. I really can't say anything about the USCPF or the SLF. I will say though, I've seen the SLF way more active than the USCPF, but that's just me. I don't exactly go on the game too much and too often now, but I always see more or less SLF patrols rather than USCPF ones. The SLF faction as well as the CDF factions are both great, but at the same time they also have, you know, the SLF is more militaristic, whereas the CDF is more of like a militia type thing. And in regards to fan factions, again, I never really had any experience with fan factions, so I'm gonna have to just kind of give no answer for that. I think that maybe if anything they should continue, but other than that, I don't really have anything else to say about that. Combat Pineapple asked, what is my favorite faction? And like I said, the only faction I'm actually a part of is the CDF, so I'm gonna have to say my favorite faction is the CDF. And what is my favorite rad? It would definitely be the Crusher. Idiotic Biscuits asked, what is the craziest experience I had on After the Flash? Myself and a group of friends, we all kind of huddled together in Boulder Cove, or more specifically on the rooftop of the supermarket. And we were kind of making like a little makeshift type settlement. It wasn't really anything big, it was like tents and everything like that. And a USCPF patrol, and this is back, you know, last year before they broke off and everything. But the USCPF patrol kind of came up, stormed up, and kind of, I don't want to say seized the settlement, but you know, they basically forced us to be disarmed and such. And what ended up happening was, during that time, I believe it was like marauders were firing from the apartments, and there was like a huge thing with like a Rad 8 that a Rad 8 wasn't exactly spotted, but it was like it roared or something. I don't remember exactly, but again, that was like the earliest experience I had that I could like fully on remember, and that would be probably the extent to the craziness. I think if anything, the other crazy experience would of course be the fall of Craterview. For those who were around for that event, that was definitely something, I'll tell you that. Captain Macmillan asked, what was your favorite After the Flash game and was my least favorite? I'm going to actually do a whole video rating all the After the Flash games. However, I will quickly say my favorite game is actually going to be After the Flash Frost, which is basically the winterized version of Rain, and my least favorite would be Darkness. My man Jeremy asked, what are the top games that you'd like to play? For this, I actually kind of broke it up as in what would be my top 5 games I would ever play, and I'm going to be kind of reading them off from number 5 to number 1, so let's go with it. For number 5, it would definitely be like any type of Pokemon game. I'll definitely say that. I played that on the Game Boy up to the DS and on the DSi. I think the very last one I ever played was Pokemon Black, or Pokemon White. It was like Black and White. That I would say is probably my favorite Pokemon game. You know, that was something that's just deeply rooted in my childhood, and I will forever love that game. Coming up on number 4, this would be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. This was actually the very first Call of Duty I had other than World at War. Coming in at number 3, this is going to be Mario Kart on the DS and the Wii. For the younger generation, you guys might not even know what Mario Kart is, and you know, that's fine, but for people who kind of grew up in the early 2000s, I guess you could say, I think you guys know where I'm talking about with that. Number 2 is definitely going to be Halo 3. This again was also my very first Halo game, and I remember I would just spend days on end on Forge mode, doing the campaign, playing multiplayer. Again, for me it's just, it's like another childhood type game, and you know, now we have it also on the PC now, so you know, with Master Chief Collection, and I love and I enjoy the game. And lastly, none of you are going to ever predict this, but I'm actually going to say number 1 is Mafia 2. For those who do not know what Mafia 2 is, it's kind of a game set right after World War II, and it's basically taking a New York type style game where it's not open world, but there's a whole world, and there's you know, chapters, quote unquote, that you could do. And to me, I really love this game. I played it on Xbox ever since it came out, and I now play it on my computer, which is, you know, again, I feel like if you were to look at a really good policing system, you definitely need to look at Mafia 2 as an example, honestly. I would say if you were to compare the cops from GTA 5 to the cops in Mafia 2, you know, you bump into a cop in GTA 5, they'll probably open fire on you. If you bump into a cop on Mafia 2, you have to do it at least 2 or 3 times, and then once that happens, you actually get a ticket. You know, it's not you know, it's not how it is now. I would definitely say, again, Mafia 2, by far the best game I've ever played, in my opinion. We have a whole string of questions from Cecilia. Just because there are a lot of questions, I'm just going to go through this very quickly. So, question number 1, can you be my friend on Roblox? Go to my profile and read my description. Will you begin to do giveaways of Robux or toy codes? It's a possibility. However, don't exactly expect that to happen anytime soon. Do you want a cave update in Minecraft? I'm pretty sure Minecraft has some caves, so I think we're good. When you end your game, which I'm assuming is the spin-off, would you like to be the leader of a fan faction and an official faction? Honestly, probably not. I feel like that's a lot of work, and I think I'm just too old to be able to kind of deal with faction stuff right now. Do you have any dogs or cats? I have both. What do you think about me as Cecilia? You're a very curious person. What update do you think is needed in Mirage? Honestly, right now, I was going to say the Boulder Cove update, but we have that now. I would say the next update would have to just be Operation Health from Rainbow Six Siege, but for Mirage, to fix some of the bugs that have been just lingering forever. And honestly, I think iOS players need a little bit of saving there too. Do you care about your subs? If it's their birthday, would you say happy birthday and then give them something? I care about all my subs. The only issue is I won't be giving them anything regardless of what it is, just because if I single out one person, it's just going to be completely unfair for the rest. So like I said, I could do a giveaway in the future, but you know, I'm not going to give any special treatment to anyone. What do you think about Halo Infinite? I was much more excited about the teaser than the actual gameplay. Is your game going to be like Mirage, same animations? Kind of, yes. I would like to say that, you know, with Mirage and New Frontier, because I'm basically recreating all the same assets that are currently in Mirage, I'd like to say that, you know, New Frontier is going to take all the good from Mirage and improve upon it. So, that was the Q&A, guys. Thank you all for your support, again, for 500 subs, or actually, should I say, over 500. Thank you guys for your questions. Again, I wasn't able to get everyone's question inside, and some of them were a little bit of repetitive, so I hope that, you know, the repetitive questions were answered to your liking. When it comes down to the type of opinion-based questions, I hope that you guys are just going to respect them and such. And overall, I hope you guys enjoyed. So, make sure you guys subscribe for more Flashstorm news in the future. Like the video to help boost the video's analytics. Dislike the video if you just did not like the video. And take it easy, guys.